Father, we come to you today as citizens of Centerville and sons and daughters of you, Lord. We just thank you for everything that you've provided to us. We thank you for keeping our community safe during the storms, and we just lay in your hands and on your heart with those that were affected by the storms this last week. We ask that you give us guidance and peace, and that you give us the humbleness to accept the things we need to accept and the strength to stand where we need to stand. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
We will open the Centerville Town Council meeting for April the 8th, 2025. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Here.
Josh Tudor.
Here.
Gary Holbert.
Here.
Dan Wondersen.
Here. Has
Mr. President,
yes.
before we get any further on our agenda, can we change the date
Yeah.
from the 6th, from the 11th to the 6th? You get that, David? Josh? You get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has everyone gone over the minutes for March 6th, 2025 public hearing? Are there any additions or corrections to those? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept those minutes from the public hearing.
Motion made.
Got a motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Gary. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Has everyone gone over the minutes for March the 11th, 2025 council meeting? Are there any additions or corrections to those? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
So made.
I have a motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Josh. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Has everyone gone over the claims? Are there any questions, additions, or corrections to those? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So move.
I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
A second.
Second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Motion to approve billing adjustment. I would entertain a motion on that.
So moved.
I have a motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Motion to approve the allowance report.
So moved.
I have a motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Josh. Will you call the roll, please?
David King.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Main Street. Anything from the railroads?
We will be having our spring cleanup this Saturday down there, getting everything ready for our opening day, which will be on the 26th of this month. And we will have our first field trip from Richmond Community Schools on the 24th.
Library.
I just want to introduce to all of you our new library director here at Centerville. This is Emmanuel Mendez, and it's a rough time for libraries, as it is for fire departments and schools and everybody else. So know who your congressman is and let them know about it. Right?
Thank you. Police Department.
Just a couple of things. Did everybody receive my report, hopefully?
Yep.
Sent to you on the email. Daniel would like to say a couple of words, and we'll kind of put him on the spot here. He's in charge of our, what do you call it now? It's like, it used to be Operation Pullover, we've talked about the seatbelt enforcement and extra highway safety. He's in charge of that program with our department, and he's filing for next year's grant.
Yes.
And with all the stuff we had going on today, I didn't get a chance to print that out, that policy, but, he would like to discuss the policy on pay for that.
Okay. I'm Daniel Husted, for those of you who don't know me. So a lot of surrounding counties have switched their grant for Operation Pullover to double time pay. And I was sent a copy of all of their policies, and I had written up a policy that Ed can share with you guys later on, which would allow us to make our overtime pay for that instead of just our normal overtime, it would be double time for anything for Operation Pullover. So how that grant works is the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute, the ICJI, will pay 80% of those funds, and then the town is responsible for 20%. And what happens is we will work those overtime hours, and we'll get paid for it, and then approximately 3 months after, when I file our quarterly report, the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute will go ahead and reimburse the town for that money.
And you say that's for next year?
So we have a grant already for this year. If the council approves, I was going to attempt to see if the ICJI will allow us to raise our rate for this year. If they won't, then it will take effect in October, because they go for the fiscal year rather than the calendar year.
And I had brought that to you in the past for this year's, and it was approved. Just none of it's been worked yet. So I'd like to ask approval for what Daniel was presented.
Anybody got any questions? Any questions? I know in the past we've done it, what, 2 or 3 years? Back in the
Yeah, we did for quite a while.
I think it really cut down on seatbelt, violations and so forth.
I guess I didn't also explain, that is just to allow extra officers to come out and work extra patrols, so, on overtime.
Any questions? I'd entertain a motion on Ed's request for that.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by David, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Josh. Call the roll, please.
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Okay, thank you, Daniel, for doing that. Next thing, I've been talking with the Christian Church, and coming up on April 12th, they are planning to have a car show with a rain date for April the 19th. And they're planning on using their parking lot here off of Main Street by the youth center, and then also the parking lot around the church as well. But they would like to ask permission to, like they've done in the past with Bible, summer Bible and all that, close off the alley during that time. I don't have any problems with it. I think we've done it in the past, and Andy doesn't have any problems with it, so I'd like to ask permission that we allow the Christian Church to do that on April 12th, with the rain date being April 19th.
Kevin, you got any? Okay, I would entertain a motion on that request.
So moved.
Okay, got a motion by Gary, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. So I want to let you know that Officer Dykes, Robert Dykes, starts the academy on Monday. And Jason Klaus should be finishing up here on the 26th of April in the process he's doing on for the academy. And if you haven't noticed yet, one of our new trucks is out in service now, and the other one should be out here hopefully by next week. Gary's been working on it now, we've got all the equipment in, and he's about complete with all the wiring on that. And then we had one of our reserves, Clarissa Falls, that actually turned in her resignation, but we put on 2 new reserve officers. One of them's Dustin Cushing, and the other one's Garrett Sweet, and, or Garrett, right? Garrett. Both of those guys were currently SROs over at the Richmond School Police Department, which has been abolished, and RPD has taken that process over. They both have the full academy, so they're gonna be a great addition to our department. Other than that, I think that's all I have.
Town manager?
We've got one appraisal back so far for the old city building. I did talk with the other appraiser, we're probably still a couple of weeks out on hearing from him on that yet. And as most of you know, the restrooms at the park were vandalized over the winter. All of that's been cleaned up, repaired, and replaced. With that said, I believe we have a young lady that would like to address council.
Okay.
If you'd like to.
Hi, I'm Keegan Warner. I'm the one who vandalized the school, park's bathroom, and I'm sorry, and I'll take full responsibility for my actions. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
I would just like to say I commend you for, coming forward and giving, the town that apology. I know that's hard to do, and we do appreciate it, and hopefully out of this, you learn something. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Next thing I have, the Tourism Bureau asked for a proclamation for Oliver P. Morton Day on April the 12th. And I have this proclamation, and that they graciously made up for us to proclaim April the 12th, 2025 to be Oliver P. Morton Day. I know they have the Oliver P. Morton Society that's going to be here, and so I need a motion to do this proclamation.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Josh. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried, and if you can make it, it'll be at 1 o'clock on Saturday, April the 12th, and at the Oliver P. Morton House, and I'll be presenting this on behalf of the town. Mr. Meyer.
Yes. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to present and represent historic Centerville. Back in the early fall of last year, we had found out that the old board was in the process of auctioning off the building and the contents. And several of my friends and myself, being Centerville residents, we didn't want that to happen. So we went to them, presented them with a plan, being a business plan, on how to take over, what our plans would be with historic Centerville, and they happily accepted. I mean, they literally said, here's the keys, go with it. So we have a new board. I myself, John Myers, I'm president. We have Will White as vice president. Secretary is his wife, Erica White. Treasurer is Kimber Reese. My wife, Mindy Myers, is at large. Chloe Brown, Sydney Stapleton, and Gary Moore, all at-large members of the board. We have been doing renovations of the building. We got donations from local residents or local members of the community to paint the entire downstairs. That is done. It looks beautiful. We invite you over for that. We're in the process of going through and really clearing out anything that is not period correct. We want everything to be authentic, to take you back into history. We've also acquired a piano too. I can't remember the guy's name, but the piano guy downtown. Super nice guy. He said, we approached him. Yeah, there you go. And he said, I got a piano I'll give to you and I'll keep it tuned for you. So, and That's very nice. It's beautiful piano too. As we put together our 2025 events calendar, we have done Coffee in the Cabin twice now, which has been a big membership booster for us. We've made significant strides in acquiring new members and participation. We're also doing the Stagecoach Dinner. That's set for August 15th. And I'll send over our full schedule to you all so you can have it on file. But the Stagecoach Dinner is a period-style dinner. It's going to be catered by Five Arch. It's going to be something that it's comfort food, basically, a 3-course meal. We'll have a piano player now, since we have a piano. And then we've got local sponsors too for all the decorating and whatnot. So then we are working on a summer music series. I do need to work with you to find out what the town rules are on that. But we do have a quartet orchestra that is coming from New York, and they're very expensive. They were provided by Matt Stiegel from Richmond, who uses them every year. His schedule didn't coincide with them. He called us and said, I'll pay for it if you guys want to host it. And we said, bring them on over. So we're going to do a quartet in the courtyard in front of the courthouse. And then our monthly meetings are every first Thursday of the month. And we've been collaborating with a lot of groups around the area, including Liberty and Connersville and Richmond with their historic groups, because we're doing a lot of looking around for grants. We have not been utilizing grants in any way. We have the log cabin, which is on the historical registry. The mansion house is not, but it is a significant building in Wayne County. So, and that's really it. The one rule, we did make a rule change that would make the whole town happy. Back in the day, the front room of the mansion house, which was the tavern, only men were allowed in that room to partake in tobacco and strong whiskey. We're allowing women in there now, so. Strong whiskey too.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Building commissioners?
In March, we had 22 building permits for a total of $1,363. The code enforcement side, we had 6 cases. 1 was unfounded, 4 were cleared without any type of enforcement, and 1 was cleared with an enforcement.
Anything else? You have also, from the EDC that I gave to you, and this is on the blight program. We've already utilized that in order to get reimbursed on this. I need a motion to allow me to sign those documents.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Gary. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Colbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. Gary?
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's,
I've got three adjustments that we want to go over. The first one is, and I'm not doing these in any type of order, is 518 North Morton Avenue. And the second one is well, let's just do this one. I find a lot of wiggle room here. I'd like to put it on the work session to get more information because something just doesn't appear right. I'd make that the motion.
okay, got a motion from Gary to put this one on the work session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Now, we've got one that was from prior, had a water main break in their house. And I'm ready to move on that one. It's over here on Palm Street. I've got enough evidence now that I know that was a leak that did not go down the drain, so I'd make a motion that we give them the break on their sewer only.
Okay, I have a motion by Gary to, on the one on Plum.
Make that motion.
Well, he made it. Second. Okay, second. Get the sewer adjustment. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
And we have the last one is 110 West Walnut Street. It is a rental, and they were gone for a few days and came back. And that one is $152.93 adjustment. It has been verified, and I make a motion that we give them that.
Okay, we got a motion got by Gary to accept that one at 110 West Walnut Street. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
And the final bit of information here on these adjustments, I keep stressing over and over, and we have to have a town employee verify these. And I want the phone calls that come in to go to Kevin so he can disperse who he thinks would be the person to go down and verify these. Because if they don't go down the drain, we don't know one way or the other. We've gone through this over and over, but it's really important that there's no question whatsoever whether it did or did not get treated. Thank you.
Also, I gave you, this came out today from Ames, the legislative alert, obviously on Senate Bill 1 with the property tax and the impacts, some of the impacts that would be to towns, libraries and schools, and so please read that over and make any contacts with your state legislators that you see fit on that. It's going to affect all of us, and some of it not in a good way. So. Street Department?
We're trying to schedule a pre-con meeting for community crossings paving this year. We look to get it set up sometime the 1st of May. That'll give the water project time to clear up, considering it's going to be part of our paving project. So once we get that set up, I'll let everybody know when it is, so whoever wants to attend can attend. We're still patching potholes. For some reason, they keep popping up.
Try 7.
Yeah, that's about all I got on the street.
Good. Water and fire?
Go ahead.
Alright. Let's see here. So for the month of March, we were dispatched to 72 calls, 45 medical runs, 24 fire related, 3 that fall in our other category. This week is FDIC in Indianapolis, so it's the largest firefighter conference in the world. We'll be sending some people over to look at the new latest and greatest things that are coming out in the fire service. I think myself and Jimmy are going Friday, so I'll make a mention of this. May 10th, we'll be having a pancake breakfast at Station 1, fundraiser from 8 to 11, and it will be free will donation. Ladies Auxiliary, well, it's not Ladies Auxiliary anymore, the Centerville Fire Rescue Auxiliary has done away with the soup supper, as it began costing us more money than we were bringing in, so I'm gonna try a different fundraiser with pancake breakfast. And then, I think that's all I have.
Kevin?
Well, the water main project's still ongoing. Next pre-con meeting will be next Thursday, so I can get a little better timeline. We hope to be done with this by the middle of May, but weather permitting, I can't guarantee that that'll happen. We have had a couple iron releases in the system due to the opening and closing of valves, which caused some discolored water. You know, we're just gonna ask the residents when it does appear, go to your farthest faucet and leave it run to clear up. There's no danger to the drinking water itself. It is just iron that's filled up in our mains, and as we open and close valves, the flow changes direction some, and just kind of peels the air off. That's what we found out on that. All of our well pumps have been inspected for the year. All but one passed. Once we complete the water project, I will be getting you quotes on replacing high service pump 2. That's basically all I got underwater.
What time did you say that meeting was next Thursday?
That will be 10 o'clock.
Also, Kevin, looks like the rest area is well on their way. How soon will it be that you'll be able to swap that pump out for that? So everybody can get the
We're waiting on the pony pump to arrive. As soon as it arrives, we will swap it out and reprogram the booster station.
Very good. We shouldn't have anybody stranded though, right?
No,
Okay.
as long as the pump 1 stays up, nobody will be stranded. They're lasting about 2.5 years. We're rolling up on 2 years on pump 1. That's why I'm kind of pushing to get the smaller pump 4 put in so we can pull 1 offline and give it a little rest and possibly look at rebuilding it.
Anything else? Wastewater, stormwater?
Well, as much as I hate to say it, April the 5th, we did have a minor CSO with all the rain and infiltration. Our
Question.
tank is full. We've got 500,000
That's what I was about to
gallons
ask,
sitting
yeah.
out there. So.
Swimming pool, school.
Yeah.
We've been jetting a few sewer lines. We've been having some issues with backups here the last couple of weeks. So we're working on that the best we can. And of course, the maintenance is ongoing back there. That's all I got under water and sewer.
Okay.
You know, Mr. President?
Yep.
We've been really fortunate to have that slurry tank put in.
Yes.
Because it's gotten us by quite a few times. But this one was extraordinary, so
Yes.
if y'all wonder what I'm talking about, that huge round blue, what is that, 25, 35 foot? Down at the sewer plant. The tank sits all by its own. That's what catches all the runoff before it gets what we call
Treated, then we have to wait so it doesn't flood the sewer treatment plant out and then slowly feed it through our system.
feed it back. That's what we call our CSO tank. Did I explain that right?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Electric?
We did receive the PO from the DOE, so we've got a kickoff meeting scheduled for April 23rd at 11 a.m. with them. We'll find out the rest of the steps and hopefully be able to start ordering material to get the project started to convert our 4 kV over. We had 2 power outages last month. They were both animal related. And I'd like council to consider an ordinance on interconnection procedures. With all the private solar coming in, it's been strongly recommended from people that we put an ordinance in place so we can govern it and help us regulate what is coming into our grid.
Entertain a motion on that.
So made.
I have a motion by Gary, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Josh. You call the roll, please.
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor, Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried, and if you will work with legal to bring it to us.
Yeah, Peter sent that to you.
Also, on electric, IMPA had their annual meeting, last Thursday and Friday. I printed off the copy of the one on renewable, hydrocarbons and the future of U.S. electric demands. I think it was very enlightening, especially with all the AI, where we're gonna have to go with this. And kind of, some of it was an eye opener, because if we don't prepare for this, what's coming with this, we'll be having blackouts in residents, because all this, intelligent stuff is just really, it has to be almost on a system all of its own, because it eats a lot of juice. So there's a lot of, I think, good information in there, to what it's gonna take and where we're at right now, for our future. So look over that. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. But this was a good presentation. Anything else? Clerk, got anything? Let me make these announcements. We will be closed Friday, April the 18th, 2025 for Good Friday. And we'll reopen on Monday, the 21st. And then our work session will be April the 29th at 7 p.m. here in the council room. Also, Centerville Archway Days festive fundraiser, they're having an auction, will be on May the 2nd, 2025 at 4 p.m. And then the Centerville Annual Veterans Parade is May the 17th, 2025, and that will be at 6 o'clock and come down Main Street. We hope all you veterans come and join us, and hope the public comes out and honors them. So with that, I would entertain a motion to close the Centerville